I named the show Around the Clock, and that has to do with the fact that my practice is rooted in my home space. I'm often thinking about the way that I can maximize time, and having a family and trying to carry on with all the other chores, it becomes a bit of a tension. We're always kind of being chased by time and thinking about time in the background. Well, my environment is a huge inspiration of my paintings. I've always been really interested in domestic spaces. I think a lot about how our living spaces are sort of like a stage for all of the drama of life. It seems in a way kind of banal or mundane, but it's actually where the most important things happen. I had been sort of hinting at figures more than I was actually painting them. The thing that I liked the most about depicting figures was kind of embedding them, not revealing them entirely. There's something about that that adds to like a psychological state of the painting. Still lifes are really significant. I often think about the tradition of Dutch still life where objects and things that maybe seem sort of not particularly significant actually hold all sorts of secret meaning. There'll be lots of moments where I think about the objects that I put in these spaces as having messages or sort of secret codes or things that just add to maybe the dimension of the painting, or that they often add a drama or a tension or like a counter tension to something that I'm trying to create. My studio is such a big part of my domestic life. On my way to the studio is my garden. I started to think about the way that like a garden, it's also a clock in its own way. It's always changing, it's always starting over, and something's always dying and something's always being, reborn. Think about classical painting all the time. In particular in this show, I was thinking a lot about Renaissance space and compositionally the way that in certain Renaissance eras, the rooms within buildings acted as really just like scenes within a story. I started to think about the rooms in this kind of imagined house that I make as almost like thoughts rather than actual rooms. They represent something more like a space in one's mind rather than an actual livable space. I usually make one painting at a time. So a painting begins and then it sort of invites another painting to begin afterwards, and they kind of build on each other. I usually begin with a drawing, and the drawing is sort of the blueprint, and it gives me a pretty strong direction of how the painting is going to be formed. I often think about them almost as rooms in my mind. So if I have like a bedroom, I might think about the kitchen after that, or I might think about what's going on in the bathroom, or it's just like, it can be like a great organizational tool just to think about it as rooms. Color is definitely something that's always changing. I think the main thing that I'm attracted to with color is like an intensity. And I often think about color as a way of counterbalancing something. I'm trying to combine with color a tension of everyday life, a way of depicting the fact that like most experiences have some complications within them, that nothing is ever completely one thing. Every artist usually just has like an internal kind of palette that speaks to how they feel and speaks to like something about their interior world, and it's hard to escape that. You sort of have to like just learn to work with it and to master it.